Welcome. This is Richard Hosnote, and I want to welcome you to the Innovation Best Practices episodes, where every single one is designed to help you sell more and make more from your innovation program using proven and practical innovation best practices that I believe can work for virtually any business and any innovation need. I want to give a special welcome to our listeners around the world, now over 104 countries. Welcome back. Today we're going to be talking about innovation and blue ocean strategy. If you've been interested in the innovation topic for any period of time, you've probably run across blue ocean strategy. It's a powerful book that I recommend everyone interested in innovation read. It's got an awful lot of good stuff. We're going to do a very relatively brief summary of some of the key insights to give you a taste of what the book is about. But if you're interested, I strongly urge you to dive deeper into this particular book. Okay, let's get started. Here's an overview. Blue Ocean Strategy became a best-selling book in large part because it urged innovators to go well beyond innovating in existing businesses. Okay? This book provides a blueprint of how to think about finding those big new opportunities. The book provides both a strategy and an implementation plan for what is an important innovation approach. This is important stuff. Okay, let's take a look at the big picture of what Blue Ocean Strategy is about. It's about creating uncontested markets versus competing in existing markets. Creating uncontested new markets. The purpose of this is to make your current competition irrelevant. Music to our ears, not easy to achieve, okay? Create and capture new demand, okay? Be bold. Create a new value equation. Again, this is the value equation, as those of you that listen to these episodes are something that I'm very big on, which is the combination of the benefits that you provide to a customer and the price they need to pay for those benefits. Any time that you can significantly or dramatically improve the benefits and lower the cost, the value equation goes wild. And that's probably not a very accurate word. I got that. But it makes a big impression on people. The reaction is kind of like, I can get all that for only that? That's where you want to get to. So focus on achieving both differentiation and advantage and low cost. You can do both. Okay? Don't lose sight of that. That's the big picture. Value innovation. Innovation in the benefits that customers receive and the price they pay for those benefits. Focus on dramatic improvements in both areas. Pursue both at the same time. Often when you, this is a mindset almost. Sometimes when we pursue major differentiation, it involves new technology, processes, this, that, and the other thing, and the cost meter keeps going click, 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 up, and you certainly need to be aware of that. But the other thing that you want to do is be able to have an eye on the cost of all this and the value equation, the value proposition that you're making to potential customers. You want to look for opportunities when you're doing major differentiation that can also significantly or dramatically lower the cost. Do both at the same time. Is it easy? No, it's not. But it starts with a mindset that you can actually do this. And there's lots of good examples about this. Okay, here are 3 characteristics of good blue ocean strategy. The Blue Ocean Company does not diffuse its efforts across all key factors of competition. Focus on the few factors that really make a difference. One of my heroes in this regard is Southwest Airlines. Friendly service, unbeatable in my experience. Speed, boy, if there's a delay or something like that, you see them go into high gear. You see the captain of the plane coming off to load wheelchairs onto the plane. It's absolutely incredible. And frequent point-to-point departures. They focused on of all the competitive factors that they could have focused on, they focused on these 3, and it has helped distinguish this airline and make it one of the most successful, and my favorite, frankly. The second of characteristics is divergence. Do not react to competitors. Be different. This is a trap that so many companies fall into in innovation. Oh my God, our competitor is doing A. We need to react to that. We need to do the same thing. We need to do it better. All this other sorts of stuff. Maybe, but it's probably not your best response. It's probably not your best next step. Figure out how you can be different and better. Okay? Third, clear, easy to understand, inspiring, and compelling. That's what your strategy needs to be. And within the blue ocean approach, it's eminently doable. Here is some thoughts on that was in the early part of this, reconstructing market boundaries. Look across alternative industries. Look for products that are substitutes or alternatives. Sometimes when we're doing innovation, we look only at things that are very, very close to home, namely products that are direct competitors and maybe a little bit that are indirect competitors, but not looking across alternative industries to see how some other industries have dealt with similar basic issues. Next, look across strategic groups within industries. You can just take a look at the Lexus story, the Cadillac story, how they looked across various strategic groups of products, and how Lexus decided to, as owned by Toyota, move beyond the Toyota brand, and how you can do that. There's a lot to learn from all these things. And you say, well, that's the car business and it doesn't apply to us. Well, yeah, if you make widgets, it probably doesn't directly apply, but the principles do. Okay? For example, Toyota decided that it could not extend the Toyota brand into the luxury category. Now, that sounds reasonable, but another company right now, Hyundai, has decided they can take their brand, Hyundai, and expand it into the upper end, into the luxury category. Are they wrong? Not so sure about that, because their circumstances and how they're doing it are a bit different. They are combining luxury, high performance with better value, and which is the core of their brand positioning. So lots of things to consider here about how you can enter entirely new categories of business by looking across strategic groups within industries. Look across the chain of buyers. This is something, again, that many people in the innovation business don't appreciate. There are purchasers. There are users, and sometimes purchasers and users are quite different. There's some categories where this is dramatic. The users of diapers are babies. The purchasers are mothers. Okay, babies can't make purchase decisions. Let's up the age group a bit. Cereals. There are certain cereals that are kind of like kid cereals, but the kids don't go to the grocery store and push the shopping cart up and down the aisle. The mom does, the mom or the dad, and they are the purchasers, not the users. Then there are a third group of influencers, and they, depending on the category, can be all over the place in terms of their source. I mean, the source of people that influence decisions. So these are things that you really need to kind of keep in mind as you look for opportunities to innovate. In this case, look across the chain of buyers, purchasers, users, and influencers. And you can find innovation opportunities that you never have ever looked at before. Okay? So, look across complementary product and service offerings is another way to reconstruct boundaries, ones that are used in combination to achieve a convenience advantage. And that is, are there different products that to complete a task that people will use two different products in the process of completing that task? Is there an opportunity to combine those two into one? Interesting question. The answer can be yes, maybe, or no. But it opens up some new doors. Next, Look across functional or emotional appeals to buyers. Sometimes we get hung up is not the right word. We get zeroed in on the functional measurable benefits, but we don't especially think about the emotional appeals that a product involves. And at least you think that some products are immune to emotional appeals. I've thought about this a fair amount, and I'm not sure if it's even a jackhammer has certain emotional appeals, certain emotions attached with it that can influence effectiveness. And the emotional, being innovative relative to emotional appeals, I'm going to suggest for your consideration, can be a very powerful approach. I'm going to suggest to you that design in many products is a way of connecting emotionally with your users and purchasers in a very powerful and innovative way. So, interesting opportunities here. Next, look across time, looking for faster and higher quality ways of doing things. Quality innovation can be a big advantage in certain businesses. It probably can be in even more businesses than people realize today. Because quite frankly, quality has all kinds of dimensions. It has the dimension of the quality of, let's take an Apple product, a good example. It can be the quality of the hardware. It can be the quality of the software, the operating system, the apps. And it can be the quality of the customer service that you get. And that's kind of like that. It's when you look across that, there are some companies for whom those three elements are either mediocre or, quite frankly, not that good. But when you put all three of them together, in the example of Apple, it creates a significant competitive advantage for you. So take a look at your businesses and look for opportunities to innovate along these dimensions. Here's some other thoughts that I think are important, and they're always important. First, observe product advantages and disadvantages compared to direct and indirect alternative products. This examination, qualitatively and quantitatively and broadly, again, it's not only when we think about product advantages and disadvantages, for example, on a computer, we might say, well, this one has a faster chip so it can process faster than this other one. Yeah, there needs to be some of that you need to look at for sure. But as I just mentioned, it also needs to be the emotional connection and the feelings that people have, the ease of use, the service, all of that. Look broadly at advantages and disadvantages on both direct and indirect and alternative products. Next, innovation should never happen in a vacuum. You need to have your eyes on three elements all the time in the innovation business: customers, competitors, and your company, your capabilities, your culture, what you're capable of, and all that sort of stuff. Okay? Those three perspectives need to always be reflected in your innovation efforts. Always remember that the critical innovation dynamic, and I've pounded on this for some time. For innovation to succeed, you need to switch competitive users. And as I've said many times, what it takes to switch a competitive user is usually about 10 times more a benefit improvement, a value improvement, than you would think it takes. Never underestimate how much it takes to switch a competitive user, to change their habits and practices and move to your brand. That's why you require dramatic improvements if you're going to succeed. Okay. Reach beyond existing demand. Resist a focus on only existing customers and a drive for deeper segmentation to accommodate buying differences. Okay. Sometimes when a category starts to mature, we focus on the existing customers and we segment it and say, well, this 20% part of all of our customers, if we innovated and did this for them, it would get us whatever. There are three tiers of non-customers, and you want to focus on them. First, buyers who minimally purchase products out of necessity but are mentally non-customers of the industry. These are people that are barely engaged. Why? They use it, they have a need, so why are they so minimally engaged? What would it take to get them to be enthusiastic participants in the category of products? Next, people who refuse to use your products. Now, they probably are buying, if they have a need, they're buying another competitive product. Why do they refuse to use your product? It would be good to try and understand this. And what would it take to turn a refusal around into an acceptance? Next, people who have never thought of your products. Never thought, never been aware of, never given them consideration. This is the previous one, refused. They're aware of your products, but they just refuse to buy them. These are people who've never thought of your product. What would it take to get them to think of your product? Why? Maybe they've seen it, but it doesn't even register in their awareness. What's going on? What would it take to get them aware? Now, these three tiers of non-customers are all big opportunities for significant, successful innovations. Take a look at these sorts of questions. These are highly provocative and potentially rewarding. I'm not going to say they're rewarding in every single case, but boy, if you're willing to dig in and try and understand what's going on here, there could be some big new business coming from innovation for you. Here's the strategic sequence, kind of like the questions you want to ask. Is there an exceptional buyer utility in your business idea? If there isn't, stay home. Is there a major competitive advantage? If not, stay home. The key word is major, dramatic. Next, is the price you want to charge, does it create a value advantage? That package of benefits and price. Is it big enough? What would it take to make it a wow advantage, a wow value advantage? Next, can you attain the cost target to profit at your strategic price? Yes. Ultimately, we need to find a way to make money on this. And is this value equation going to make money? If not, today's businesses, first and foremost, for good or bad, tend to be focused on the bottom line. So it's a key question. What are the adoption hurdles to actualizing your business idea? Key word here is adoption. What is it going to take to get people to adopt your product? It's always the hurdle, and I keep saying this, the hurdle is much higher than you think it is. So pay attention. Okay. Here's some other important points. They talk about 4 key hurdles: cognitive, resource, motivational, and political hurdles faced in executing a strategy and overcoming the status quo. A lot more to be said about this. I suggest you dive into the book on this. Look across industries for a correlation of success stories, especially unconventional successes. There may not be major success stories in the categories or near categories that you're in, but you can take a look across, and I've talked about this before, other industries, totally unrelated industry. If you're in the potato chip business, take a look at the car business, take a look at the software business, take a look at some B2B products, and try to find out what really drove dramatic successes in those businesses. Understand the principles that people followed and see if they translate. You're going to be surprised how many times they do translate to your business. And the book goes on to define the 6 conventional boundaries of competition in what it calls the 6 paths framework, which could be an episode or 2 by itself. So dive into the book on this. Here's some concluding thoughts. This book is great advice. It really is. I've used this with clients. I had one client who bought a copy for the book of everyone in their marketing and finance department. Innovation focused on dramatic product differentiation and lower cost, much better value. I keep pounding that drum. Never assume that you can have either one or the other. It's what I call unleash the power of and. You can have superior products and superior value pricing. When you have both, your chances for success increase dramatically. This episode has only touched on the wisdom from this book. And again, I strongly recommend that you do a deep dive read into this book. Okay, if you want more innovation best practices, just go to my website, I2GE, that's the letter I, number 2GE.com. And on the left side, you'll see the menu bar. Click on the DIY Innovation Training. Do it yourself, and you'll find a whole bunch of training programs there. If there's not one there that meets your exact needs, just send me an email. I'd be glad to tailor one to your needs. Here's what I'm trying to do with this. I'm trying to make you innovation self-sufficient so that you can develop the internal capabilities and don't have to hire expensive consultants like me and others to do it for you. Another innovation best practice source is one of the 6 books that I published. It's titled Proven Practical Innovation That Delivers Results. It's kind of like what these episodes are about. This book is available only at Amazon in a paperback and Kindle version, and it's priced below my break-even cost, so it's a great value. If you have suggestions, comments, or requests, I love hearing from listeners. Just send me an email to richard@i2ge.com. I look forward to hearing from you. In the next episode, we're going to be talking about corporate life cycles and how innovation plays out in those different life cycles. It's a very interesting look at innovation. Every enterprise, your enterprise that you have, fits into one of these corporate life cycles. And these corporate life cycles tend to go faster or slower, but they tend to always move in a certain direction. They either keep moving forward and the company thrives or stays in existence, or it goes out of business. But there are life cycles here, and innovation varies significantly by life cycle. So another interesting perspective on innovation. As all of you know, I'm deeply appreciative of you taking time out of your busy day to spend it listening to these episodes. I look forward to reconnecting with you soon, and until then, please have a great day.